Happy New Year! Welcome to the Queer Witch Project, your resource for all things queer and witchy. I am Damona Peacock, your fabulous, non-binary, neurospicy, ordained queerdo with a fascination with everything symbolism, cycles, and patterns.
And I am Moonkittee, your queer femme polykitchen witch and proud geek. Today's topic is, well, it's a bonus episode for you. We are talking about numerology in the new year.
Yay! Bonus episode!
Woohoo! Happy New Year, Damona!
Happy New Year, Shay. It's such a
Oh,
blessing to be spending this time with you and,
yes.
ending one season and beginning a new year. And
I,
yeah,
I know, I love it. And it's really fun because we love the numerology, and this is the perfect time to dive a little bit short. We're not going to go deep, we're not going to go heavy, but we want to talk about the numerology of what's going to happen. So, what can we look at and what can we kind of expect to see in this next year? So, what's going to be in store for us in 2024? But before that, I guess, probably getting ahead of myself, aren't I? I should probably let you explain what all of this means. I'm just a little excited.
I love your face.
I love yours.
Well, so
Hmm.
numerology and the year that we label, the number that we give to the year cycle culturally is very
Hmm.
culturally agreed upon globally, not all the way around, not everywhere, but in a lot of places and with global commerce. This is kind
Hmm.
of, the year of our Lord 2024. Yeah,
Yeah, we're not into star dates
2024.
yet, unfortunately.
Speaking
Sorry, couldn't
of Star
resist that
Trek,
little reference. I am proud geek. Remember in my in
I
in
get it.
my
I
bio
got it.
line
Yep.
in my intro.
Yep. Very
Yes.
proud. Um, so the number 2024 is going to be haunting us for the next 12 to 13 lunar cycles. But in numerology, and I believe we talked about this briefly in our
Hmm.
numerology episode, but we want like a 4-digit number. We want to know what the essence, the
Hmm.
core essence of that 4-digit number is. And to
Right.
do that, you just add it all up and
Hmm.
simplify it down to its most basic 1-digit number.
Hmm.
So 2024 is 4 plus 2 plus 2, which is 8.
Hmm.
So, which also means that 2023, the year that we have shifted out of or from, was a 7 year.
Hmm.
What do I mean by 8 and 7 years? Well, there are these things called the personal year cycle.
Okay.
Um, and first of all, universally, there's this 1 through 9 numerology cycle. I have explained, and there's ways to look up what all the different numbers mean. But it's in theory, in numerology theory, uh, the years will follow this 9 number cycle.
Hmm.
And there's a pattern that goes beginning,
Hmm.
connecting, creating, building, changing, nurturing, re-evaluating, expanding, and completing.
Okay.
So over culture wise, 2023 to 2024 is us shifting from the re-evaluating hermit cycle of the 7 to the expanding cycle of the 8 year.
Okay.
So we're going to see, I think things have been popping off in 2023. I would expect more of that in 2024,
Okay.
and a lot of a lot of pay attention to the economy stuff, because business and money finances is under the umbrella of the 8. But also the you reap what you sow concept of,
Hmm.
you get back what you've put into something. And also, unfortunately, that may play out on a global scale.
And if we
Yeah.
look at it, 2024 election year, that's also going
I
to,
forgot
I
about
don't want
that.
to think about that, but yes, that's a,
No, we have to though.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's in that idea that 8-year cycle.
Yeah, I love one of my favorite things about personal year cycles
Hmm.
is, so I was talking about like the overculture's cycle of going from the 7 to 8, but the personal year cycle is your where you are at in the
Hmm.
cycle based on when you were born,
Hmm.
and where your life path started, sort of thing.
Right.
So I will teach you in just a moment how we calculate the personal year cycle, but I wanted to say that everybody's in their own kind of cycle. Sometimes you'll meet people that where y'all are in the same personal year or a completely different personal year cycles. But it's when I teach this, we are saying going back and looking at the presidential elections.
Hmm.
I find, or you could do it even with, like different global conflicts.
Hmm.
But I love to do it for people's personal years,
Hmm.
where we talk about now, right? We talk about the shift from what was last year's personal year and what is now going to be this year's. But also on your own, go backdate your life. Just write down the last 10 to 20 years, depending on how old you are. And then write the years down in order. And then write anything significant that happened to you in that year that you can remember right off the bat, and then figure out where in the numerology personal cycle between beginning, connecting, creating, building, changing, nurturing, reevaluating, expanding, and completing, that all of those things fell. And it's really fascinating sometimes to say like, wow, yeah, I really did experience endings in that
Hmm.
9 year. I did really start a whole new thing in that 1 year. That's amazing.
Hmm.
Numerology, there might be something to this. I don't know.
Right.
Mileage may vary. But to calculate your personal year,
Hmm.
that's the best thing to do at this time of year. Everybody's like looking ahead at the new year, new me, whatever
Hmm.
BS. I don't think you have to change. I don't set resolutions.
Mm-mm.
Um, there's nothing to fix, but I do feel that there is a shift in the vibration and the
Hmm.
energy by the nature of the date that we're going to be writing for the next you know 365 days.
Hmm.
Wait, is it also a leap year? Might also be a leap year.
I think it's also a leap year. So
Oh,
we're talking about the 8. So you mentioned little things that we're touching on for the year. So strength, hard work, reaping what you sow, global economy, elections, all those kinds of.
empowerment, achievement, a rewarding financial year, success, and all the work that you've been putting in paying off, and putting knowledge to great use. Those are all very common themes for 8 personal years,
Mhm.
or, and so hopefully that will play out on a grander scale as we're going into an 8, cultural year as well.
Mhm.
But I was also talking about how to calculate your personal year
Mhm.
cycle. And you basically add the current year
Mhm.
to the sum of, and then we'll, of course, in numerology, we're going to simplify down, right? But the sum of your birth month number
Mhm.
plus the day number of the day you were born.
Mhm.
So I'll just do me, for example. I was born 6/30, and then I would add it to the current year, which is an 8. So 6 plus 3 is 9, 3 plus 8 is 17, and then you add the 1 and the 7 of the 17 together to simplify it down to an 8. So
Mhm.
my personal year cycle, mine,
Mhm.
is also in alignment with the cultural year cycle, and
Mhm.
that happens for some people. If your day and month added together equals 9, you're automatically going to be in this personal year cycle where it's matching whatever the year is.
I,
Nines are weird in numerology where they kind of don't exist. They negate themselves.
and
They're
that's
very
interesting 'cause,
mysterious.
I'm 12/6, so that's also a 3 added to
A 6,
a 6
which
is
is
a
why we're
9.
always in the same personal year. And you're
Right.
also going from a 7 to an 8 this year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So again, so our for us personally and globally,
Mhm.
empowerment, achievement, um, a rewarding financial year, success, all that work paying off, putting knowledge to great use. I can already see this happening for you.
Mhm.
And not to reveal too much, but just knowing some stuff that's going on in your career life.
Yes.
So
Yeah. I'm starting to see that
very
as well,
cool.
which is very cool.
Yeah. But so for our listeners, I want to invite you to, and this is the easiest way to do it, simplify the month first. So if you happen to be an October baby, it's a 1. If you're a November baby, you're a 2. Your month is a 2. And if you're a December baby, it's a 3. And then all the other ones are single digits anyway. So add that, simplify it down if you have to, but add that number, and then do the same with your date. If you have a single digit date, you don't have to add anything down. But if you're double digit day of birth, like me, 30, I had to add the 3. Then, and you didn't because you're a 6. So, so if you're like 28, that's going to be a 1. So you're going to add that to your month, add it to 8, add it to 7. And then so you'll see kind of like the shift in gears that you personally can be probably expected to experience from last year to this year, and kind of maybe give you some insight into what last year was really meant for you to be focusing on spiritually, on your spiritual path, or on your soul growth development. And then you can kind of see ahead what to expect possibly for this year. And I'm going to just do the personal year. I know I did the 1 words, but I'm going to do like a little bit of explaining. So for you, hopefully I've rambled just enough that you've already paused me and added up your own personal year number. So for your personal year, if you landed on 1, expect new beginnings, starting a cycle anew, focus on yourself, fresh inspiration, and planting seeds for the next 9-year cycle. If you're landed on a 2, expect themes for this year or last to have been cooperation, relationships, building bridges, teamwork, balance, patience, and love. If your personal year cycle is a 3, expect creativity, self-expression, giving voice to our feelings, giving birth to your ideas, or helping something grow. If you landed in a 4 personal cycle, it's about building foundations, hard work, setting boundaries, and long-range goals. Reassessing your longer range goals. So the 4 connects back up to the 8, because double 4 is 8. There's always going to be that connection. So it's like redoubling up on your goals so that you could reach the success of the 8. If your personal year cycle's a 5, you're going to be expecting change and freedom, exploration, travel, movement, adventure. A lot of people end up moving in 5 personal years, or changing jobs, or somehow breaking free from whatever felt stagnant in the previous 4 cycle. And then 6 personal year cycle, it's the responsibilities of relationships. Family stuff tends to come up, domestic work, life balance, nurturing self and others, healing self or healing work for others. A lot of that stuff tends to come up in a 6 personal cycle. The 7 personal cycle, again, this is for me and you, was last year. It's the hermit year. Study, acquiring knowledge, inner work, slowing down before the big push toward the end of the 9-year cycle. It's solitude. It's I don't know, starting a podcast.
Spiritual growth. Focusing on what makes you spiritually connected, or finding a path that you connect to spiritually. So it could be anything that relates to me, the idea of spirit.
Personal.
Personal.
Because 9 is a very spiritual number as well, but it's global, where the 7's personal. And we talked about the 8, empowerment, achievement, a rewarding financial year, success, all of that work paying off, putting knowledge to great use. And hopefully, expanding your podcast.
Would be nice.
I wonder if that'll happen. And then if you found your personal cycle of last year and or this year had to have been a 9, it is the end of the cycle, completion, release, understanding, seeing the bigger picture, accepting transitions and endings, and sometimes grief and letting go. So those are the experiences depending on what personal years you land in the cycle of beginning, connecting, creating, building, changing, nurturing, re-evaluating, expanding, and completing.
I like it. I like it. And as always, if you want more detail, if you want to contact Damona, and she will be able to provide you for a full reading with all your numbers, all that kind of stuff, all of her contact information for how to obtain her services will be in the show link notes below, but
Yeah.
also you can follow her link tree. It's got everything in there too.
I've
So
got
you can contact her for
an
services.
email button.
Mhm.
Send me an email. We can arrange, I can do numerology services. We can have a personal conversation about it, whether it be your life path, your other major profile numbers, or if you want to discuss more, not just this personal year cycle shift, but that history. I'm willing to sit down with someone and we can kind of, under the lens of numerology, kind of poke at and discover some of our personal history and unpack some stuff. It's a very fascinating exercise. And if you're willing to hire me to do that with you, I would love that. And if you want to do it on your own, I encourage that too, 100%. And speaking of, dabbling in your own numerology, if I've made you curious, which I do definitely hope that I have, if you ever just want to know more, you can always Google personal year cycle and put in your number, or life path number and put in your number. By the way, side note, life path number is basically the same thing as the personal year, except instead of using the current year, you use your birth year. Reduce that down, add it up. There's your life path number. If you're going to Google it, I personally recommend the Felicia Bender. You can Google. So I like her as a numerologist. I like her page. I like her breakdowns. So a lot of times when I don't have time to explain it myself, I'll send somebody a link, and it's when I'm Googling personal year 11 Felicia Bender, that's what I'll put in. And then I'll find her link for that and send it to someone and be like, okay, here's the lowdown as far as someone I recommend goes. So if I'm not doing it personally, I do like her website and her information. And I will also put a link to her of some kind.
Okay.
Maybe to the personal year information page in the show notes.
I think that was it. I know this is a shorter one that we just mostly wanted to kind of give you a hint and a teaser of what is going to be upcoming, of course, for us and our podcast as it's cycling into its 8th year for hopefully growth and completion and success and all of that kind of thing. We have a number of topics already planned, but we always are looking for more, and we're always looking for guest speakers, guests who might want to come on our podcast and give us a discussion. So with that, shall we do our final outro for the year?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, thank you for listening to the Queer Witch Project and sticking with us for, the last 6 months. And I hope you enjoy this bonus gift episode that we have to offer you about numerology in the new year. I hope you join us in the new year with more likes, more comments, more interaction, more ideas, more learning about our listeners. I love that.
Absolutely. And if there is a topic you want to know more about, or an episode topic you want to suggest, please contact us at thequeerwitchproject@gmail.com, or find us on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram with the handle @queerwitchproject. We upload every other week almost. And remember, queerness is a key to magic.
Be yourself and love rebelliously.
Absolutely. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
2024.
Here we go.
2024.